weather. I could have done better today.
Yeah,
We,
it creeped up on us this year.
Or half the year ago.
so much rain, that's what did it.
We are
Yeah,
live.
we'll go with that.
Okay. Well, good morning. Welcome to the July 2nd meeting of the Board of Riley County Commissioners. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay.
Okay. Do we have public comment this morning? Yes, Rich?
I know the commissioners have met Vanessa, the new Riley County PIO, but it's probably good that the public meet Vanessa, the new Riley County PIO, since she's going to be the face of the county in many instances. And so this is Riley County's new PIO, Vanessa Gray. And I know the commissioners, I don't know if everyone here's met Vanessa, but we are very glad to have her on board. All the departments feel the same way. We kept getting questions, when we getting a new one? We have a new one. Here she is. We're very glad to have her.
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay, well, thank you for being here. We're welcome.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
And we really need you.
We don't know how to say anything.
No.
Or anything that anybody likes.
Yeah.
Anyway.
One other side note, if I could, while I'm up here, a lot of our departments don't always hear good kudos, and we just had our election training yesterday for all our election workers. Before we had 2 training sessions in the morning before we had the budget session, and at the facility we use, the IT was not set up because they've had some staffing problems, and our A-team IT department knocked it out of the park. We didn't find out until 4 o'clock the night before. Chris was there, and Chris and Corey and all the staff got it taken care of. They were there yesterday morning getting us set up. Chris came back to be sure everything was okay as we're doing our training, and our staff had said it, and they said our IT department's just amazing. And so the commissioners need to hear that. I don't think our staff hear it enough, and they are. I know they are with dealing with election security, because we know how top notch they are and how they have to be for that. But they do just hit it out of the park day after day, and a lot of things that you guys don't see behind the scenes. So we greatly appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Well, thank you.
And we may mention too that we are closed tomorrow, offices for
Yes.
servants of.
We are closed tomorrow on observation, the holiday. Yep.
Do you have any other public comment? Okay, seeing none, we'll go to commission comments. Commissioner Ford?
Yes, Monday post meeting that obviously I attended via Zoom. Watched the National Association of Counties webinar coordinating housing and transportation with HUD's thriving communities. We joined NACO, ICF, and the Smart Growth America program for a discussion on connections between housing, transportation, land use policies. We explored strategies for aligning housing development and transportation investments, identifying opportunities to increase supply, and advancing policies that would support sustainable community growth. Pretty informative meeting. Wasn't much of a Q&A during time. They're thinking about maybe doing a 2.0 version of this, so we'll see how that works later. Also on Monday, I met with Jimmy Joe Johannes from the U.S. Department of Agriculture, along with Amanda Webb, a planning director, to discuss some possible federal funding that could offset some local costs for area programming and services. A very informative dialogue. She gave us a lot of possibilities, kind of reviewing some things and see where some things may fit and some things may not, and what red tapes, matches, so on and so forth, be of some benefit to stretch out things here locally. Also, once again, Wednesday, I had a Teams call with the National Associations, Counties, Community Economic and Workforce Development Committee that I serve on. Had a special resolutions call. This is in advance of the upcoming annual conference and exposition that's being held in New Orleans this year. We'll talk about hot and humid. Discuss policy resolutions dealing with affordable housing, small business loans and grants, CDBG funding, which currently isn't proposed in either the national budgets right now. Housing and urban development modernizations, and had a pretty robust discussion on the modernization of disaster relief for local jurisdictions, just to name a few. These resolutions will be discussed in length and passed during the upcoming annual conference. I believe that is the 11th through the 14th, so next week. See, Wednesday afternoon, I did attend our special 2027 budget session for work session here in the BOCC chambers. As of course, we continue to develop and work through the constraints of the 2027 budget. Yesterday afternoon, I met with on Teams with the group from Make My Move, as well as Darren Solden from the chamber, discussing a little bit more depth that upcoming grant that we had discussed on Monday, how we can still maybe make that work, given the future consideration for budget constraints and maybe getting some community partners on board to help offset some of that cost. We're coming up with a plan B and plan C that might work within the work things of our budget. So lastly, congratulations to US Soccer for beating Bosnia Herzegovina yesterday in Seattle, 2-0, making it to the round of 16. Team looks pretty good. I know they lost the one game there on penalty kicks, but they had half their team kind of sitting on the bench after they won group play. So I don't read much into that. Some of the other major contenders usually are already gone. So I guess I have to see how that works out. But I'd like to see them get to the round of 8 or even further, just given everything. So that's all I got.
Okay, Commissioner McKinley.
And everything other than what John mentioned, our special budget session yesterday, and then I too watched the soccer game.
Okay. Let's see, Tuesday, I had a meeting with David Adams to go over information and update on the health department. We spent time going over programs offered and I requested some numbers of people that we serve in each department. He'll get those numbers to us as we go through the budget, and he did mention it yesterday.
Yeah. Can I ask one thing on that if possible? Can we get another form other than Excel? We can't print Excel here because the printer's not formatted for it. So it prints it off in
I
sections.
printed
Wouldn't
It should print.
wouldn't let me print it.
it. No,
Or maybe I need to do something on here.
yeah, you might have a setting off on it.
Chris
I
is saying
printed
yes. Okay, maybe that's what it is then, because it printed off in 2 sections. I mean, I matched it up or whatever, but it's just not real convenient. No, his came in as an Excel.
David's.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, continuing on. Later that evening, I attended a program organized by the Flint Hills Coalition for Fair Courts at the K-State Student Union concerning the upcoming ballot question on the election of Kansas Supreme Court justices. The former Chief Justice Lawton Nuss was a featured speaker who is opposing the ballot question and presented a lot of information. Also speaking was Logan Stensing of the Kansas Appleseed. There were quite a few people there. There was a good Q&A session. It was really a good program. So you got a lot of information. And that vote is coming up on the primary ballot. Wednesday afternoon, I too was at the special budget session held here, and we discussed a lot of ways to bring down the 27 budget. We will continue the discussion going forward. So that's all I have.
Okay, first item of business, commissioners, need a motion on the bid from BHS, the low bid on the IT GIS remodel or discussion.
VHS.
I've taken to my original position that this isn't the time to do this project. But if I were of that opinion, I would go with BHS on this one too.
Yeah, I think legally we have to go with BHS, which
Yeah.
has worked with us a lot in the past, but I think we have to stick with I had never read the qualifications part before, so.
I think probably from my perspective, if I were to read them, because I just don't understand some of the bidding processes,
Yeah.
some of that might not even make sense to me. So I leave that part to the experts. That's why we have you.
Pretty clear.
Yeah, but the process in which was supposed to be invoked was laid out crystal clear.
Well, I'd move to approve the bid from VHS Instruction for the IT GIS remodel.
I would second that. It's been moved and seconded to approve the bid from BHS Construction. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Aye. Or nay.
Motion passed.
Good. Next, commissioners, need a motion on the Riley County purchase card request.
Oh,
Who is that?
It's for you. She probably doesn't even, she doesn't even know who it's for. It's for, it's for you.
It's yours. It's your name.
Is that a $5,000 limit?
It is, it is.
and it goes through the regular policy. Somebody's reviewing it. Okay,
Mhm.
so there's a checks and balance. I'm not assuming anything bad. I'm just,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Point here.
Yeah, it does look like, it's $5 would be.
Looks like it, yeah.
I was kind of rushing.
Yeah, well, you can barely buy a gallon of gas for $5.
You're lucky.
All right, I'll go ahead and make a motion then to approve the Riley County P card request as presented.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the Raleigh County P card request as presented. All in favor? Aye.
Sure, please sign.
I don't know where I sign it. Oh, I see. Your signature went down into it.
Next question, need a motion on Riley County Employee Action Forms, Sandy Whitetop Harper, ISO Supervisor, Community Corrections Department, Separation of Service, Amber Shaffey, new hire, ISO, Community Corrections Department. Kyle Ward, Volunteer Fighter, Separation of Service, Anna Eisner, Child Care Licensing Specialist, Health Department, Separation of Service.
Go ahead and make a motion then to approve the requested employee action forms.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the requested employee action forms. All in favor?
All three, please sign. Oh,
I tell you, did you have a lot of fireworks in your neighborhood last night? I had a bunch. I couldn't go to sleep. I called the RCPD and I said, how come it's for this early? Because other years it's been not till the January.
It's always the first.
First.
And it's, then go to midnight.
Go to midnight.
To work, I was thinking it was different than that.
We can sell them and put
no,
them all the way off until midnight on the 4th, I think.
Those things are the biggest pain. I always do it in the middle of the night.
You'd be surprised, a lot of people will buy them after the fact.
Yeah, I
They're
like-
50, yeah, 80% off, and then
Yeah.
do the dumb thing and store them in a Tupperware container in the garage.
Any items for county officials, luncheon, commissioners?
I don't think we need to have it right now.
I thought department heads had a list.
Can I?
Well,
Or is it sensitive?
I wasn't at the department head meeting,
Oh,
so I
okay.
don't know.
So department heads requested just to continue to talk about budgets with everybody at the table, and how budgets could impact strategic planning. So that's what they had requested yesterday. So up to the board.
fully aware of that already. Oh,
Understand that.
we've got a lot on our plate right now.
I understand.
Okay.
And I think the biggest thing department heads is it'll help now that we have a PIO, but they're not all able to zoom in and watch the meetings or sit in here all day. And so we're doing as much as we can to communicate with them about budgets, but ultimately I think they wanted everybody at the table.
Can't go back to YouTube later when you do have an opportunity. I'm not being facetious here. I'm just saying, I mean, We've got-
understand.
and I'm not taking anything under non-advisement there, but
I think the meetings are important, period, so.
And I think that's the department head sentiment as well. That's what I gathered yesterday, that they really wanted all of us at the table. But ultimately, it's the board's decision, and so I just wanted to provide the recommendation from the department heads.
Well, I like the idea of the department head meeting, especially now since we've got a new PRO, but I would suggest we come up with some additional topics.
I don't know that I'm gonna be able to make the 13th.
Well, say, will I be there? I'm leaving the 14th, so I can be.
So you want the department heads to have different topics or for the county officials luncheon, or do you not want to do? I'm not sure I understand what you're
So I
saying.
would say, since we've talked about budget ad nauseum, and we continue to talk about budget, and they can watch on YouTube, are there some other topics that they'd like to
We haven't
discuss?
talked, we haven't talked individually with the department heads, though.
Granted, let me make sure I'm clarifying this properly. Is it, I want to try to understand better direction? What's the conversation entailing with it?
It's a great question.
Okay.
They just said they want to talk about budgets and see where we're at, and specifically, as I said, how would that impact strategic planning?
Yeah.
So,
Oh, okay.
I mean,
And- yeah,
just a little
thank
bit
you.
of support. I think it is direction from you to us, where we're at. As of right now, we've not been directed to really do anything. We're looking at our budgets. We're doing that on our own and being responsible. We don't know what we're being directed to do, how much, where,
Okay.
those type of things. And then, it does all fall on where we're gonna be at with the strategic plan. I mean, today helped a little bit with that, but then budgets are gonna be a big impact on
Yeah,
what we
talk
can
about
do
what-
or not do, or what, if we do anything with it anymore.
Okay, that's fine then.
So agree to hold the county officials luncheon. Commissioner.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'll have to cancel the appointment I have or something, or I've already rescheduled that once. It's all right.
Mike, I don't know if you're tracking, but your office puts together.
Yep.
section. Thank you.
Yeah, just let you know you're in charge. I'll find it.
Well, I will pass it off on Jacob and everyone else when I get back.
Beauty of delegation, huh? Any changes to the minutes, Commissioner?
Notice there was people, that one line of people weren't, that attended. Dane Boyd, Ewing, and about the,
Oh, I didn't know their names.
oh, okay, you didn't know that, okay.
Yeah, I didn't.
That's, and I don't, there was somebody else with the attorney, but I didn't know who she was.
That's the one I actually know. I
Oh,
know,
okay.
I
You
know
got a
her
name for
dad
that
very
one?
well. Yeah, I know her dad very well.
Oh.
Yeah, we can add those. I'll just write them
I
here,
don't
down
think I
here.
didn't spell it, it's not, pretty sure it's D-A-Y.
Oh, D-A-Y.
I'm pretty sure, isn't it? Does that have Dane?
Yeah, I think Dane is just D-A-N-E, then Boyd
It's
is.
D-A-N-E, oh,
I
okay.
think so, yeah.
I couldn't remember.
D-A-N-E.
Yep.
Kim Ewing,
Jason Pierre.
P-R-I-E-R. I had to look that one up, more stuff, but
Oh, Pryor. That's the R.
yeah, trying to translate my scribble.
Sounds good. We'll get those added.
I make it clear enough for me to read.
Yeah, this is the way I am as well. So yeah, I can't critique you on that.
I move to approve the minutes, the June 29th meeting as adjusted, amended.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes as amended of the June 29th meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The tentative agendas, look, commissioners.
Too long.
Any items for next week's press conference? I will be on elections for sure. I'll start doing that regularly.
Yeah. When does early voting start? Middle of July?
Yeah. Should be,
2 weeks.
yeah. It is. Any other items? Then you have Mr. Hawthorne at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, likewise.
So you used to go with my other profession.
Right.
My mother. So.
Yeah, I didn't realize that until you just said that, in your other profession, everyone goes by the last name of the bowler. And it took me a while to figure out, Steve Mark French. He always called me Vargo. It's always just Vargo,
That's
anyone.
when they all,
Uh-huh.
and my son in the fire department the same way. They're all last names.
Uh-huh.
It's generally a nickname.
Right, yeah, I'm sure.
I think, so you two need to sit next to each other. So when we ask Michael, I need to go, you got this one or am I gonna get this one?
So,
I had a guy in my class in high school, it was Craig. Several times we ended up, because of the alphabetical, he'd end up sitting next to me. They'd ask a question and we kind of, you want to take that one or me? I said, oh, I thought he said Craig.
we would go by nicknames so much, we'd go testify in court as a particular officer, always with my Shamrock, named Shamrock. And they were asking me about court, about Officer Combs. I don't even know who that is. Oh, no, that's Shamrock. Yeah.
For many days, I had to try to learn local notables. Very interesting.
Yeah.
I would say probably some of the nicknames aren't repeatable in court, huh?
Yeah. Appropriate, but there are so many. As I got older in law enforcement, I was Uncle Mike or Uncle Mo.
Oh, really? The old man of the group.
Man,
That's what- my wife is, Major Daryl Asher was class. I said something one time, said about Daryl, this is that. I said, well, Major, she thought his first name was Asher. She
Oh, really?
referred to him so much.
Be a good first name.
Worked for a person, too.
Oh. We always know each other.
I'm the director of the Ocean City Animal Shelter. Have you ever heard of a cat?
Oh, really?
Kind of crazy when you work in a profession where it's.
Yeah, that's a little.
Like, what the hell do you need that for? Hold on, what am I signing up for?
When commissioners start having to put it next to their tag, I think I'm done.
I always used to laugh because I got an I grade, I'm A negative. So.
Oh.
A minus from-
You got an A minus, right?
A minus, that's not bad.
First one you ever got though, huh?
That's what I wanted.
Yeah, that'd make you think about it when you put that on for the first time, like,
You put your bulletproof vest on this guy.
that's not a bad reminder. Not a bad reminder
That's
of
good, yeah.
how serious it is. A mental check.
Both guilty. No one lied.
Putting that on, it's time to focus.
We're moving down, son.
You.
Yes.
I unfortunately, I'm still wired that. I'm always, I always, I said in the restaurant.
There's never purgatory.
Can't have your back to the door. Yeah, I know all of them, but that they can't sit with.
That's why I always liked being over there on that side. There's a quick exit. Now I go this way, I gotta shove a drink through that glass. I already got it figured out.
Window right.
Now, there's a reason every time I come in, send this back road.
I know, like, yeah, I've heard that, and I've noticed that,
I can see that.
that
And I can also have an extra.
cops and retired cops, they never sit with their back to the door. See what's going on,
Everybody in my family knows.
where you have to sit. That's what, there's a guy in our church that's on a police force that he came talk to us one time about security stuff and everything. He sits at the very back row every time. He said, I can see, so I can see everything going on. I can see if anybody walks in the door.
It's not mine.
That's what he has to say.
Most churches nowadays have a group of people that are there and they're carrying,
Well, there's,
specifically
I
watching.
didn't know it. I found out another guy who's retired. Also, it's usually a farm. I didn't realize that. I've known the guy for a while. I didn't realize that.
I talked to Mike Kearns in his church and he was telling me about it. They have a group. And
No, no, I'm sure.
I'm walking in Home Depot or Walmart. I'm always, every aisle I think. It's a good way to think, you can really, might say it much.
Right. Good morning, Commissioners. Michael Hawthorne, Assistant County Counsel. here for my administrative session. As the board knows, I am flying solo today and yesterday, which has been a fun experience answering the phone on my own.
Was that sarcasm?
I've actually had some very interesting conversations
Oh.
with some very interesting people. So
I could send a few more your way if you'd like.
you know what? It might keep things entertaining.
Okay.
So just a few updates. Yesterday at the department heads meeting, the department heads had voted to recommend that documents the board receives for these reorganization work sessions be included within the agenda packet. I believe the rationale for that is just so that the department heads can more fully participate in the discussions. Keeping in mind it is the board's call whether to have those be included with the agenda packet.
What documents?
So
I don't know
We don't get them ahead of time.
I would, I'm again, feel free to chime in, Anna or Brittany or Michael. I believe these are just the documents like the comparable salaries from other counties that I think Elizabeth had been providing.
Well, there's some stuff that she's just brought in.
Okay,
The handout
Ask
that she
Elizabeth
got
for 'em.
there.
right.
That's fine. I'm not sure what they're asking. But most of that was on the agenda.
So it's something the
I mean,
board-
we discussed it in the last reorganization, that information was there, but
Mhm.
yeah, we got it like
The day of,
something like that within that
Okay,
time.
there were-
or the night
Last
before.
time, a couple times, Elizabeth's brought stuff and just handed it out to us. That's probably what they're talking about.
Okay,
She brought some stuff and just handed it out to us.
my direction would be ask Elizabeth for that
Yeah.
information
She
and
gets
she'll
one.
gladly provide it, yeah. That's fine.
So that's to ask Elizabeth to include it with
Yeah.
the agenda packet, or the
Yeah.
department heads on their own can ask Elizabeth for it.
Well, I mean, there's a lot on their plate sometime, and sometimes she can't necessarily get it into the agenda, so if that's something that gets passed out in hard copy, then just ask her for it, and they can print it off. Or send it digital means after that, or however that's working.
Just also to give the attorney side of things, anything that is included in the agenda packet would of course be public.
Right.
Some of these documents have been drafts that would not ordinarily be subject to Cora. They can be
Yeah.
public if the board requests so.
Oh.
Well, outside of, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
those requests would technically go through your office at this point anyway, because HR is in your department.
That's very true.
Okay.
It's in public, so
Okay. Right.
not necessarily.
I do understand from an HR perspective right now, they're inundated with things and it's hard to get everything out in a reasonable amount of time. So I've been being flexible with that.
So if I'm hearing correctly, it is okay to include them within the reorganization, within the agenda packet, sorry. And we can discuss that with Elizabeth.
Yeah, as long as it's legally not a problem.
Okay. Understood. One additional question unrelated to this recommendation. We have discussed the county officials luncheon, but we have not discussed what the board would like for lunch for the county officials luncheon.
I got an idea.
Yes, sir.
Steak and lobster.
Not sure if the budget can swing that, Brittany.
Every year.
There's one steak and we all get to divide it. Everybody
Yeah.
gets one
Yeah.
divided up for. what,
Still
5
steak and
of us.
lobster.
That'd serve him right, wouldn't it? Here's your bite, John. Enjoy that
One of these days, I'm
claw.
gonna surprise you and just bring it in.
Well, Cindy's been, I guess,
Yeah.
it's Cindy, she's been getting stuff from McCallister's, I think, that.
No, thanks.
And speaking of, every now and again, McAllister's brings back a steak and lobster roll.
Really?
Hmm.
Okay.
I don't know if it's real or not, but
Okay, everyone good with McAllister's?
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine. She does a good job of getting a variety of sandwiches and stuff.
All right, well then, that is about all I had, commissioners, unless you had any questions.
And we could do Qdoba's taco bar or whatever they do.
No.
Just
That's
something
different rock and cakes.
No, that's from Rock and K's. That's not from
it's
Qdoba.
good.
Yeah,
That's from
That's
them.
something, yes, we'll have Cindy ask,
Yeah.
check with them to see whether it's reasonable.
Usually it's at McAllister's and AJ's, maybe mix it up a bit. I'm just throwing that
So
out.
check Qdoba first, if not,
Yeah.
we'll look at McAllister's. All right. Sounds good. All right. That, commissioners, I don't have anything else for you.
Next, commissioners, you have Michael Bowler at 9:15.
Michael Show.
I guess so.
Mr. A minus.
We should block out set aside. Michael show.
Start calling that.
A
that's
minus.
now. Same ones. Get the same email I get.
What's
almost
that?
Every day. Goes to quarantine.
Oh, really?
Same people.
Oh,
I had Corey look at it and he was gonna try to get them blocked, but I mean, it goes to quarantine and I don't look at it, but it's and each time the email where it's from is a little different each time, which I'm sure it's a fake.
oh, yeah.
And the title of it's a little bit talked about office. Office investment fund.
Well, you doing anything for?
I don't know yet. Let me
Usually
go
go
out
to
to Hay. I
Hayes.
do, and that's still on the table. It just depends on how I'm feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the day to day. Honestly, I'd kind of like to.
Right, yeah. Sure. One of our new temporary election workers, one of the college ladies is from Hayes.
Yeah, that surprised me. Well, actually, one of those other communities I like. Okay, more there than you think they do.
Oh, yeah. no,
Yeah.
Hayes is fun.
This
It's
is a bigger
nice.
town than I realized.
Oh, yeah.
That kind of reminds
It's
me of
over
Manhattan when I
20,000
first moved here
population,
40 years ago.
Mhm.
We were talking with my grandson about it.
And a really good
Yeah.
college there.
Cause you just hit the very corner, you can drive
Mhm.
by. So
Yeah.
that's where my grandson
Their
lived there.
campus reminds me of a mini K-State campus because
Oh,
there are no
Kinda-
trees out there, but their campus has all kinds of trees
Yeah.
and limestone buildings.
Oh,
But
really?
It's got smaller versions.
Reminds me of Manhattan 40 years ago.
Yeah,
where they're at
it's a
now.
really nice little campus and it's a
It is.
really good college.
It's walkable.
Mhm.
It's not like KU where you're basically walking uphill no matter where you're at.
Michael, we got that removed from our backyard.
Well, I was about ready to spring a pop quiz on the commissioners and see if they could identify what this.
Except I read your thing, so I know what it is.
Not fair.
Yeah.
Like had more purpley kind of.
It's got a pretty
Same.
veiny, it's the stem on it kind of looks like rhubarb. It's got red going through it.
Yeah, when it
red.
gets older, doesn't it get more red?
It's
Something like
already
that.
aged and turned brown. It's already gone through most of its life cycle. It's an early spring plant.
Hmm.
But it's getting more and more prominent in Kansas.
Seen a lot of it around.
Yeah, it's pretty poisonous, and if you were to ingest it, there is no known antidote.
What about animals?
Animals that they can ingest them, a lot of times they will, they won't die, but, like a horse, if it's fertile, if there's a fetus on board, it'll abort the fetus in the horse or cattle.
Really?
It's pretty common, but they're high in tannins. They're not palatable. But a cow or a horse, if given that there's nothing else to eat, they will eat it, but it's pretty rare.
Oh,
Oh, I'm sorry.
And will it kill the horse or the cow?
No,
Is it
generally
like-
not, generally not, but they won't ingest a lot of it. But to be honest, I'm not exactly an expert on what it would do. I do know that it is an issue with livestock. No, it certainly, it's very poisonous.
Back in the day, they used to poison people with hemlock.
They did, yeah.
Movies, movies and TV
Well,
shows.
famously, is it Socrates that was poisoned?
Yeah. It
Yeah,
was.
he was famously poisoned by poison hemlock. That's what killed him.
Oh, I have so much I could say. There, but,
Historian comment?
yeah,
Yeah, I've read a lot of like African history and the whole area.
Yeah,
And they talk about hemlock.
yeah,
Poison and all that.
yeah, there's some interesting plants that grow in our roadsides here.
Brittany, how long, do you plan on going today? You think that discussion will go on the budget today?
That is all up to the commissioners, how we go about.
But how many items do?
I don't have anything new.
Nothing
So,
new?
Just saying,
Okay.
what do we do?
yeah, I'm just gonna turn it over to the board for you guys to discuss and give me recommendations on where you want me to cut. So. Is there a specific time you need to be done by?
No, I was just trying to set up.
yeah, I've got a 12:10 doctor's appointment. Doctor's appointments are gonna be difficult this month for me. I'm sorry.
I wouldn't think it would go that long.
Yeah, just looking at my calendar, I've got
I don't think
eight,
we have that much.
8 different appointments this month.
I was gonna get with Amanda after our meeting. I mean, she's in.
Yeah.
Just curious.
Quiet bunch this one. It's like elevator practice.
Patiently anticipating a riveting presentation.
Well, I'm excited to talk about it.
Do you not have a life outside of here?
I do, but honestly, I am.
Find a hobby,
I've
something?
gotten to be fairly passionate about plants and chemical. I find it
I'm glad somebody
fascinating.
is,
Michael lives and breathes noxious weeds.
Yeah,
figuratively.
well,
Okay.
I would encompass nature.
Let's say figuratively, okay? That's the appropriate legal term.
I would say nature in general, and Rich being an outdoorsman, he can attest
I
to
get
that.
it.
He too is very nature oriented.
It's
It's more of a lifestyle than it is a hobby, really.
All right, so what do you call a lawyer who becomes a priest?
Good start.
Father-in-law, but
Oh,
I know.
While we're on the subject, did you know that Willis Carver created the air conditioner before it was cool?
Who?
Eh,
Oh.
Did you know if you took 1,000 attorneys and lined them up end to end, they still couldn't reach a conclusion?
Yeah, I've heard that one.
That's very true.
Look, get rid of this thing.
We're ready. Good morning, Commissioners. Mike Bowler with the Riley Noxious Weed Household Hazardous Waste staff update for July 2nd. Starting off on the noxious weed side, all county roads have been sprayed out for musk thistle and field bindweed. And we're going to be following up with spraying of Johnson grass, and we'll be doing so for the month of July. All contracts for townships have been completed. We had a total of 6 this year, which is right about where we're normally at. A high year would be about 8, a low year would be about 4. So we had 6 this year, and those are all been completed. KDOT contract has begun and will continue with spraying for Johnson grass. And we're really going to focus on Zeendale Road. A lot of folks will give us a call and want to know when we're going to mow out Zeendale Road, but a lot of people do not realize that is a state highway out there between there and here. The ditches are pretty filled up with lagoons and weeds out in that area. The issue that we have many times is there is a significant amount of crop ground immediately adjacent to that ditch all the way out there. Of course, our motto is always to do no harm. We're here to save yields, and certainly we don't want an overspray situation out there, but we're going to try to focus on the KDOT contract kind of in that area this year. First round of mowing on county roads is nearly complete. We are probably 95% done. As you recall, in my last meeting, I let everybody know we were a bit behind due to weather issues. Happy to say we are caught up and should be done with the first round of mowing this year. As a reminder, Riley County does mow out all county roads to include dirt roads 3 times a year. That is significantly higher than any other county. Most counties just mow out the roads once a year, and a lot of times they're only the paved roads. So we mow them out 3 times a year here in Riley County. Let's see, we do have cost share chemical available for property owners. As I say, a high tide rises all boats, and musk thistle has been fairly prominent this year, as it has been in every county. Still pretty proud of Riley County, but we have our fair share of it. And as I have discussed many times before, Mother Nature is controlled. We can kind of curve it 10, 15, maybe 20% in one direction, but we've had a very mild, abundant rainfall spring, and everything is green. We have more insects, we have more critters, we have more everything, and noxious weeds is one of them. So just a reminder that landowners, if they did not get an opportunity to spray out early spring, that we can still do a fall spraying. And I have been sending out a lot of letters this year to remind people. I'm beginning some good cooperation this year though, so I'm pretty happy about that. Poison hemlock. We get a lot of calls on poison hemlock. It continues to spread across the state. It is an invasive species and is not indigenous to Kansas, but it's important to people to know that it has not yet been categorized as a noxious weed. It is a dangerous plant. It is toxic. People need to be aware of what it is, what it looks like. You'll be happy to know that the chemical that we spray alongside the ditch, which is a 2,4-D and a picloram, is effective in controlling this particular weed, but we did have a pretty good outbreak of it right alongside the roadway on Anderson between Keats and Manhattan. And it is a fast growing plant.
Yeah.
It will in the spring, it will shoot up a foot in a week. And so before we had our first mowing out there, we had probably 3-foot tall poison hemlock growing alongside the road. So it is prolific and it is out there. We do get calls to target it and make property owners control it, but it's important to understand it is not a noxious weed. There has been some growing concern on social media about the county and state roadside mowing and spraying, destroying milkweed habitat and hurting the monarch butterfly populations. I will let you know that I consider myself a conservationist, and I very much support the plight of the monarch butterfly. But it's important for people to understand 2 things. One, they're upset about us mowing and taking out milkweed alongside the ditch. And I politely remind them that they would not put their dog or cat dish alongside the road to feed it for obvious reasons. And for the same reason, we're not a big proponent of milkweed growing alongside the ditch, because cars, people want to know what's killing a monarch butterfly, I tell them to go out and look at the grill of their car. So It is important to plant milkweed, but I would encourage it being it back from the roadway for obvious reasons. The other thing too, a lot of folks question why we can't allow like wildflowers and stuff like that to be on our roadside ditches as opposed to grass, because there would be a better pollinator, that sort of thing. Folks need to understand the life cycle of broadleaf plants is very short. Mother Nature gives every plant an opportunity to bloom. It's very much timed. And so we could not sustain wildflowers in the ditch and maintain erosion control. At the end of the day, folks have to understand that mowing is part of road maintenance. We don't do it to make the roads pretty. We make it so that the ditches flow appropriately and we don't have erosion. And we keep grass in the ditches because it is a consistent grower and it's not a bunch grower. It will spread and help control the erosion of the roadside. So those are two answers that I generally don't like to get on fights on social media. I try to stay off of it, but I do see a lot of, we've recently had a complaint where we mowed over a milkweed in the ditch and a lady was very upset about it. Wanted to let us know that it better not happen again, and I can 100% assure you it will happen again. But I am empathetic to the monarch butterfly. And on that vein, one last thing I will mention, we do have several acres up here by our shops that I intentionally do not put out for hang, and we don't mow it because there is milkweed growing there, and that is the appropriate place well off the roadway for monarch butterflies. So I do want to put that out there as well.
I guess we can't develop it anytime in the future then, huh?
Just have to move them.
This is a photograph of
Might be-
poison
might be a
hemlock.
good balance.
For those of you that don't know what the plant looks like, it is actually in the carrot family of plant. It has a very fern-like stem to it. You don't even want to smell the white flowers on this. There have been people hospitalized with horrific allergic reaction to just smelling this plant. So this is what it looks like. It's already gone through most of its life cycle and is already turning brown, but even the dead plant still remains toxic. So just be aware of that. On the HHW side, we are doing our Howie's clean out this Saturday, July 11th from 8 to noon. Again, I can't stress how wildly popular that is. We have at least between an average of 60 and 80 folks in that 4-hour period bring us a number of different chemicals. And those chemicals ultimately do not end up in our landfill and possibly in our water system. So happy that people participate. And as a reminder, ever since COVID, we do have carts outside of our facility 24/7. It used to be that people had to, come out during business hours to drop that waste off. And now we have them out there all the time. And people do take advantage of that. And we are grateful that businesses have not filled up those carts. We haven't had that issue. And I am very pleased that with a grant through elections, we are now getting security cameras out at our facility. And that will be very beneficial. We haven't had any real issues out there, but it would be nice to have video cameras. And because they're election related, we will be keeping the files for those for up to 2 years. So I'm very grateful for the elections and then getting that grant to be able to put that in there. That'll be a big bonus for us. Very happy about that. And with that, I stand for any questions about noxious weeds. I always kind of hope one or two. So if you don't have any though, that's all I have for you.
I got a lot more on my mind right now than noxious weeds.
Yeah,
I'm
yes,
sorry.
sir. I understand. I understand. It's on level priority. To some, it's pretty big priority, but to others, I understand.
Yeah, I'd agree.
You haven't mentioned Cerisa,
Lespedeza?
whatever it is. The other one is that
Vanessa has to learn how to spell that.
Yeah.
Teresa Lespedeza.
Be careful. Google doesn't always get that one right either.
Yeah, that's been a big booming plant. We have a property owner just the other day who is a retired veterinarian that has asked me very, very specific questions about that. And I gave him a formula and he called my secretary the other morning and said, wow, that was the best response, best he said, I got change in the plant within a couple of days.
Mm,
I said, well, the thing about killing a plant is we want to kill it slowly. A lot of people want to see an instant change in the plant. I can tell you, if you burn a plant down within 24 hours, you've done nothing to kill the root system. You just killed the top of the plant. So with Sericea, we want to see a fairly slow kill. So although he got a pretty quick result, I really question that he got the formula right, because we shouldn't have seen a terrible change in the plant within 24 to 48 hours. But he was very happy with the formula that I gave.
Take the ones you get.
Yep. Yes.
He comes back and he goes, what'd you do wrong?
And it will. I mean, Sericea has,
Yeah.
if you've got it, you've got a seed bed. And with all noxious weeds, as I've explained to people, this is a 4 or 5 year program. That is the problem when I have irresponsible property owners that don't want to take care of their ground. If the county goes out and does one forced spraying, we've really, it needs to be over 4 or 5 years. So at the end of the day, I tell everybody, I have to have compliance. I have to have voluntary compliance. Doing a forced spraying does nothing but kind of a show of, well, the county's trying. But we have to manage, we're not built to manage people's ground for 4 or 5 years. So at the end of the day, I have to have compliance. I just do. So that's why I ask really nicely. And if I don't get results, I ask them really nicely again. So.
But you're right. When we spray something, I'm gonna spray it tonight, tomorrow morning, it better be dead.
Yeah, and that is the
That doesn't do
wrong,
anything. That just kills the weeds.
that is the wrong mentality. Yes, it's the wrong mentality. Thanks for giving me time this morning.
Thanks, Michael. Have a good weekend. Versus next at 9:30, commissioners.
He told me how to kill it and they are.
Did we lose another monitor?
Huh?
Did we lose another monitor? It's got that dark spot in it.
No, they moved some
haven't-
stuff around there because of airflow.
Make it-
I don't know.
Okay, it's just got that dark spot back in it again.
Oh,
I don't think
I just
They
had
haven't
that, you
replaced it.
up to those little squares up there
Uh-huh.
on the. If you're talking about the gray part.
Oh, no, this monitor itself has that dark.
Oh,
in it.
okay,
Not,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
no, you're fine.
I had to get rid of that. It was those little squares.
Yeah.
There you go.
She's got that dark. I thought they had replaced it.
Okay. I think they, yeah, I think they have. I
Maybe
think
they-
they're getting the fan
Hopefully they
thing
didn't.
first.
Well, they do have fans under there.
Yeah, they did.
I thought they wanted to replace it until they got those things going. It's just,
Yeah, hopefully it hasn't been. We haven't ruined another one.
Because there was glass on this at one point too. Okay.
Glass is back in the other room over there for airflow.
Yeah, I figured that might have been.
At least we're using air, not water.
Yeah, water's kind of a contentious issue.
Yeah, right.
nowadays. Can we get a petition out here?
And, you know the petition process. I don't need to explain it.
what's that for?
It gets the.
Data center over there.
They're using water.
If they're gonna have to collect more than 500 that they've got so far.
That what they got?
Yeah.
I just saw some brief little thing on it.
I guess I have to take the cover off my license plate, I guess, because that's now illegal.
Always has been.
What?
All right, so background, because this was my case that made it in the Supreme Court.
Oh, boy, I hit a nerve, didn't I?
It arguably was not illegal, and the Supreme Court determined it was not illegal to have the state name covered. Still had to have the, like,
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
numbers displayed, but most brackets will cover in some way the state name, so.
And that's what this covers, or uncovers now, I guess I should say.
And now,
So you
now
can't- So
now
you
you-
can't have them now
now you cannot,
at all.
if it covers the state name,
I just have
Oh,
a
just
case
if it
state.
Covers the state name.
or probably, or state name or the digits, or the.
See what the joke just said about consensus? You're waffling on me.
I
already.
am. But I'm very passionate about this topic.
Yeah.
We'll continue discussion later.
Can't solve the property tax issue, but let's take the covers off of our license plates. I don't know.
Priorities. Priorities. Are we ready?
Yeah,
Good morning, Commissioners. Anna Burson with the County Appraiser's Office here to do the monthly staff update. On our ag use side, we have about 15 sales of ag land. So those are being reviewed. There are 154 ag properties and 95 farm home sites due for reinspection. In addition to all of the ag review that we have to do this year, farm sites are roughly 5% complete and the ag reinspection is about 79%. This does not include all of the agricultural maps that have been sent out. Those are being processed and all the delineation changes are being made as those maps are received. On the appraisal support side, again, just continuing to keep that workflow, processing quality control of the entry for the building permits, for more right now, AR and sales, the annual review and sales phase, building permits will kind of start getting into that in the next few months. Doing a lot of our scanning and processing those maps as they're returned and assisting with those exemption applications as they come in. Because not only do we get applications for real estate, there's personal property exemptions as well. So every one of those that comes through, we have to process, review, and make sure we have all the right documentation for. On the residential side of things, we have approximately 479 residential sales to date. For 2026, that median sale price has climbed about $275,000 with a $317,991 being the average sale price. Our current ratio overall in the middle is right at that 95% range. There are approximately 225 new permits for 2026, including 23 new dwellings and other rechecks additionally from last year still remain.
I'm sorry, Anna. Is there I'm not saying put it in every update or something, but is there a way to kind of do a floor, a median, and a ceiling on the housing side of that?
As far as
What things are selling for?
sale prices, like
Right.
ranges.
Yeah. Because with the discussion on this particular topic, there seems to be varying opinions on what's quote unquote affordable.
And how they interpret, how
Yeah.
people interpret those numbers. I mean, I
Sure.
understand.
Okay.
Some don't get it.
Yeah, sure. I can do a range. I can show you guys a range.
I'd appreciate
of-
that.
The median's really what we typically report,
Yeah.
but absolutely.
That's what you're doing. You're
Ratio wise, it's always gonna be off the median, but
not even wanting to go there.
we can go off of, I can share some sales information. Sure.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. Let's see here. We're working through the 2026 sales, sales inspections and annual reinspection. So annual reinspection is about 35% complete on residential and 59% complete on farm home sites. So one of the things we started this year is all of the farm home sites, just to ensure all of the data is clean. And we've got everything accurately listed. We're physically reinspecting all of those for the next 6 years, just to get updated maps, updated plot plans, making sure that those records are complete. And then let's see here with the residential small claims. We have 6 total residential small claims hearings relating to 2026 values. So those were appeals that had informals, didn't agree with the decisions that came back from those. So those went to the board and those are the small claims. Of those 2 hearings were held. We had another hearing this week. 2 are scheduled next week, and then we have 1 we're still waiting for scheduling. And so just waiting for decisions back on those. The commercial team has 19 sales, including 3 of those being exempt properties with roughly 10 new commercial building permits, along with the other miscellaneous permits and rechecks that we get on commercial properties. They'll begin those. Properties that are due for annual reinspection are largely completed. And the team is beginning the process for building permits, and then additionally, the special projects that we have to get completed on other commercial properties. We're preparing for small claims and Board of Tax Appeals hearings. Currently, there are 2 small claims hearings outstanding for 2026. Here is the updated Board of Tax Appeal list. There are 3 2026 additions from the last update, and then Home Depot has dismissed. So Home Depot is coming off of this list, and so that's great news. And so a couple new ones that we haven't had go to that next level before, so we're just getting paperwork prepared to support our values as we prepare for those hearings. On the exemptions list and the pending exemption applications. So the Leonardville Community Church, that one did get their exemption. As of right now, there are 5 pending real estate exemptions. One of which with the city of Manhattan has been scheduled for hearing in August. And so it's not one that either party requested a hearing, but the board has scheduled a hearing. So that is the parking garage that's attached to the convention center. And so that one we will have a hearing in August for. Additionally, there was a request for some actual numbers as it pertained to appraised value and exemptions, because, property owners commonly associate the taxes with the appraiser's office. What we hear, the common misnomer is, we're raising values to get more tax revenue. That is not what our office does. We are following the sales from the prior 2 years based on the market. Those values are set January 1. After values are set, all of the budgeting is beginning. But part of the challenge in Riley County specifically is the high rate of exemption. When we have $10 billion in appraised, over $10 billion of appraised, and over 4 billion of that is exempt from taxation. That is why the taxes in Riley County are so much higher. That's because there's we have this $10 billion tax base, but 4 billion of it
Bye-bye.
is gone. And so then when you look at the assessed value,
Well, I wanted to ask one other thing on here. I think it's important to note too, that residential property is paying half of the overall property tax.
oh no, they're paying 70%
The
of it.
next one, yeah.
Oh,
That's right here. Yeah. So the biggest
Yeah.
portion of the weight of the tax is 71% of the taxes that are getting paid are residential property. If you consider the farm sites, which we should, it's closer to 75 because farm home sites are typically farm home sites or other structures that are not used for agricultural purpose. So 75% of the burden of the taxes in Riley County is being carried by the homeowners, which is why property owners are upset reasonably. It's a heavy burden. Legislation is where that issue really has to change. So as an example, I just put together some quick numbers. You can't do it per household.
right.
You can't do it per person because I just don't manage that data. But if 1% of that $4 billion was taxed, that was the assessment rate, just 1%, that's $40 million of additional assess that would reduce that burden that is being carried by the residential property owner. So then I did another little bit deeper dig just to see what's a real big challenge specifically in Riley County is university and federally exempt property. So a big portion of that burden is your federal, your state, your schools, your municipals, your county. The county portion is much smaller. But the biggest burden really is coming from education, federal exempt property. We have a really large portion that's hospitals, continuing care communities. If just even a fraction of that appraised or a fee or something was coming in, it would reduce the burden that is being carried by the 75% homeowners in Riley County.
Is there a way to find out what some of the other counties are?
That's what I was gonna ask.
I think the state,
Counties that are comparable and like
Comparable to
Leavenworth
Riley.
or
Leavenworth,
Douglas.
Saline,
Yeah,
Butler,
yeah.
as far as the rates, I believe the state has something out there that shows that, I think on the state's website.
Tells what percentage,
Mhm.
what percentage is paid by
Exactly.
residential.
I actually think per
I don't
capita,
know about paid by residential
That's what I was looking at.
necessarily.
Is there a way, I didn't know if there's a way to find it out from us to see how we
Yeah.
compare.
we were tracking
course,
some
Leavenworth has a
information
lot
from
of-
Leavenworth County a few years
I
ago.
I think the state put something, I don't
Oh.
have access to that information.
I know
but,
the information KAC put out, they did it kind of per capita, and actually Morton County per capita is actually higher than us. But that's all federal reserve grassland, and they get,
That's Cheyenne bottom.
yeah, and they get a huge payment in lieu of taxes for that, so it
Even-
gets offset. Ours is like $48,000 for all this, and that
50, just got it.
just
Oh.
50. So it went up a little bit, but still, I mean.
The last I
it's a drop
heard,
in the
we are
bucket compared to- Yeah,
last I heard, we are the highest percentage exempt.
Yeah.
In the state of Kansas. So I mean, that's.
I guess it's worth noting it's come down just a bit, 1.5%, but
Yeah.
What,
We have some
40, came
pending.
Down to 40.
In addition to
Sure.
that, I can say we've recently come to discover there's additional churches that have purchased property that will be coming off the tax roll as well. So we're gonna see more of those exemptions, and you will see them as we've been contacted by them. And so it's the more we take off, the more that burden climbs, and the worse it's going to get. So if something's not done at the legislative level, it's gonna keep impacting at the local level.
Well, what can the legislature, what can we?
What can they do?
What can they do?
They really need to look at the exemption statutes and what should be 100% exempt. Should anything be 100% exempt? Should there be payment in lieu of taxes? As John mentioned, some of the other jurisdictions have. Like, you pay this in lieu of taxes, because the exempt properties also use services. I mean, that's the reality of the situation. And so we need the equity, absolutely. Where's that balance? I mean, that's where legislation needs to take a much closer look, especially for Riley
in a
County.
lot of situations, these exemptions are all or nothing. If you're using part of your property, for instance, for for-profit services, they should be, that part of it should be in tax, but if the rest of it's nonprofit, then you can certainly look at that, particularly on the education and the health side of things. I don't have a problem with that, but it's either you take all of it or you take nothing, and nobody's gonna take nothing. I mean, that's just human nature. So that's one focus that they could put on, and I think that would clear up a lot of things.
Reduced rate.
Right.
that's big. Even 10% of what they.
So right now, not-for-profit 501(c)(3) already has preferential assessment rate at the 12%. If they're a not-for-profit, the issue is there statutes that allow for the 100% exemption, which is what we have a lot of here.
You look at some of those sometimes, like, they want to put a senior citizens housing exemption in there. And most people would look at it and go, yeah, that makes sense, but those dollars don't disappear anywhere. Somebody else, so it's not a tax break, it's a tax shift, because that's burden, right?
Kids and grandkids.
They're gonna be paying the difference for the rest of their lives. And that's where we're losing this battle at.
Yeah, I mean, and that's when you look at where we're at, it's not looking any better, just the more you're seeing. And so as the appraiser, I felt like it's important because I do hear it every day. You're taxing me out of my home, you're taxing me out of my home. In the appraiser's office, we're ensuring that we're following the market. But the tax piece of it, that's gonna come down to legislative change. That's gonna come down to taking a hard look at that. And in conversations with some legislators, it's frustrating, to be honest. Any additional questions or requests?
No.
Thanks for the good news.
Sorry.
No, I like, that's something we should,
Yeah, this is an important piece where
those last two pie charts are.
I've shared them before, but I don't know that I had the actual dollars. I had percentages on there. Putting actual dollars on it really, I think, kind of hits the home piece of it.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot.
Yeah.
So. I grade it down for you.
Commissioner, you have Evan McMillan at 9:45. That's the time he walks up there.
Yeah.
Oh, he's late. Evan, you're up.
Morning, Evan McMillan, Public Works. I'm here today to request to refill a utility technician position that we have filled due to a recent resignation. This position is responsible for the operation maintenance of all the benefit districts. They do meter reads, take care of the water, sewer, do state regulated testing, all that kind of stuff. This is a budgeted position, but if there are any questions, happy to answer them.
No, I don't have.
Yeah.
Well, I move to approve Public Works to fill a vacant utility technician position.
Well, second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the Public Works to fill the vacant utility technician position. All in favor?
Thank you.
All three, please sign. Next question, Amanda Webb at 9:55.
Well,
Oh, sorry.
no,
I didn't know you were coming.
That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I've never seen it done before. Well, yeah, it's on March 8th, city, gets out the river.
How long do you want to get here for? I was gonna go. Yeah, so what maybe one you could do, yeah.
Get the land, but praying on it, but look, hey.
Yeah, we're just off. Ranch, but there's an area that's at well. Both in went. Several years. And then.
I was good this morning.
This year. And that's been known for 3 years.
It's harder for me.
But it might get it.
So you see if we can do it. I would really trust this.
So by the end of the year, so that.
I think here it's gonna be a little bit more lenient. Problems we can't solve, the problems that we. But I was gonna say, with the seatbelt, it's hard for them to look in and see the bar wearing hair visible as the sun's and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Those two.
Yeah. Yeah. It's snow beyond the street. It's neat. Yeah, so we've taken red top. Steve. And as we reach out to her, trying to sleep it, you know. Why is this not the actual yet? This was such a been heard March, September, so. What are we at? Yeah, this is the thing that.
Well, back in the early 2000s, everybody really but small times. Which was they were put. Yeah, I'm seeing that. And technically illegal, but I've never heard of anybody being pulled over on this. I'm not saying things, but that didn't cover up anything.
Yeah.
I remember it's you all. $2,500 fine too. And then. And I'd say.
Based on.
It's like, that's basically like, so then what the state needs to do in this meeting. People should be able to put what they want to be as if, you know. Yeah, which means we won't get a new one for decades, so.
Yeah, and I had my last one memorized and the next. The current one's so long and jumbled up, there's no way I remember it, you know? Sometimes you go to a place, they need your license plate number and.
I've got mine memorized now, but I've had the same tag number for 8 years or something, but. Anywho,
First time I had someone get pulled over for that, right after I got that case, I went out and pulled my license plate cover. I was like, okay.
I read that and I thought it was like, you know, the onion or.
So you had someone get pulled over just for that?
It happens. But yeah,
You took yours off, huh?
I saw that happen. So I was like, all right, well, I didn't know I couldn't have this, so bought that.
Well, that's $30. It's gonna sit on a shelf somewhere. Thank you, government.
No, my wife will not be happy.
I think with everything that's on the plate today, that's gotta be the pertinent issue. Shows you exactly where we're at in the world.
You need to pay to get those special, the
I'm
special
not gonna
ones.
give the state money. I don't want to give the state money. We give them enough already.
And K-State gets part of it, but the one that gets me is the new, because they've got like 20 some. When I renewed last year, asking whoever was Which one of the ladies, it's talking to, the black out one.
Mhm.
Real quick. I said, well, where'd that go to? That's all it's been.
Mhm.
There isn't.
Everyone loves them.
Most of the others.
Have a
Somebody,
cause.
somebody,
Mhm.
but there's- it's all the state getting that.
Everyone loves them.
Yeah.
Come on, David.
Good morning.
How's Amanda?
Hey, how are you? Right?
Good, good.
Yes, okay.
Okay, you ready?
Yes. All right. Good morning, Commissioners. Amanda Webb, Planning Director. I have a couple things for you folks this morning. We will start with the 2026 Flint Hills Regional Leadership Program nominations. If you remember, we've already done our NACO nominations for this year, and those are all taken care of. We are now doing our 2 nominations for the Flint Hills Regional Leadership Program. Applications are due July 20th. And so we received 2 applications that Amy and I reviewed and chatted about. And so we would like to recommend nominating Brittany Phillips, Budget and Finance Officer, and then Robert Cox, Emergency Management Planner. Again, these are funds that are already been did for this purpose for this year. And that's what we'd like to recommend. Any questions or comments?
What is the timeline on that again? When's it start?
The program,
Yeah.
it starts in late August.
Okay.
Yeah. Runs through late January.
Okay.
It
So
runs how long? I'm sorry.
late January.
Late
So
January, August through January.
Yeah, yeah. It's a 10 session program where they'll kind of move around to different areas in the region over each month.
Okay.
Both of these people have the time and ability to do that.
Yeah. Yep. Usually one day a month sessions where they actually go to the location. There are sometimes when you go somewhere and it's 2 days. So it just kind of depends on the sessions, but so, and we already, of course, would know what the schedule is, so it can be accounted for ahead of time.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve Brittany Phillips, Budget and Finance Officer, and Robert Cox, Emergency Management Planner for the Flint Hills Regional Leadership Program 2026.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve Brittany Phillips, Budget and Finance Officer, and Robert Cox, Emergency Management Planner for the Flint Hills Regional Leadership Program 2026. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, commissioners. We will let them know and give them information on how to apply to the actual program. Okay, so the next item I have is my regular planning and development staff update for June. As usual, lots of different things going on in our little world. Keats, we should be starting construction next month.
Yeah.
We have a pre-construction meeting with Bayer next Wednesday. So of course, we'll get a little bit more information from them, kind of where they are, because of course, they're still working on UP. So we'll get that information from them a little, be able to get those particulars a little bit more figured out when we meet with them next week. Still waiting for EPA. I've put in a couple of messages, and it's my understanding many other recipients are kind of waiting as well. So we're kind of in the same boat, just waiting for this contact information. Waiting to connect with our project officer to have that required kickoff call before we can officially apply. And then I have a lot of questions to understand how it's all going to work, how long this is going to take to get, how it can apply, quote unquote, retroactively, how it's going to interact with the other funding we received, if this can even work, all of those sorts of things. Just being honest, because there's just a lot to it, and it is a little bit late in the game, if that makes sense, since we are starting.
I'm starting to think it's not going to happen because
Yeah, I
there's some
think that concern-
changes happening within the EPA, and I don't think those funds are going to be there.
I think that concern-
Senator, you talked to Senator. Murphy
I did,
about that?
they,
You talked to him about that?
I have, they're coming up with the same thing there. They can pull some strings within that, but each department has their own kind of control over what direction that goes, and is it Director Turner, Scott Turner? Yeah, EPA Director or Secretary. I think a week and a half ago said that there's some majors happening at the EPA, and it's at the funding level.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
let's hope for the best.
Yeah,
but
absolutely. And
plan for the worst there too.
yeah, we're still gonna obviously go forward and do
Yeah.
everything we can with it. But honestly, and we've talked about this before, I'm kind of proceeding that it's not.
Yeah.
It's just not going to work out, unfortunately.
If we have an opportunity to find other funds to replace that, I would suggest
Sure.
making that a priority.
Yeah, and I mean, right now, I do want to, remind everybody that we are 87% grant funded
Right.
already. And again, that's just for the infrastructure. Folks are still going to have to pay operations and maintenance and user fees, but with that, the infrastructure portion itself, we are already 87% grant funded. So that's pretty unprecedented as it is.
Yeah.
Again, I'm always happy and on the lookout for other opportunities for this project and any other project. So, and we will keep charging down the EPA route until we're told no, basically, until we're told this isn't going to happen. We'll still have all the information we need. That's the kind of the benefit actually of coming in a little bit later in the game. We have all the information they're going to want. It's just a matter of getting that information to them and how long it's going to take. So we're going to keep going, but we are kind of proceeding like it's not necessarily.
Well, at
going
least
to.
we're still going and we've got August groundbreak, which is
Yes.
incredible.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, it looks like they're ahead of the schedule.
Yeah, again, we'll be able to touch base with Bear next week and get a little bit more information on what they're thinking in terms of that. So yeah. So as usual, Keats is still charging along. We're gonna get it done. Any other questions or thoughts on Keats? Anything around that? Okay, the next item, everybody's new favorite topic, data centers. So I'm currently
That was sarcasm too.
what?
Charging along.
Let's be in holiday spirit, Amanda.
What?
Let's be in holiday spirit, 4th of July.
Oh.
Yeah.
Data centers. Anyway.
For your information, haha.
Yeah. So I am taking a battery energy storage systems webinar series through CACPIZO right now. So I have a lot of information to share with you folks because they kind of get a little bit overshadowed by data centers, but they are a use that is becoming more and more popular for a variety of reasons that we need to be looking at and considering as well. And then the KAC put out a, you all probably saw it in your KAC notification emails about a data center planning summit in Topeka in a couple weeks. So I'm going to go to that the utility entity is going to put on. So I am going to attend that, as are a lot of folks in our region. You can see actually who's attending. So
NACO's put out a couple of different webinars, and I don't know how they're going to do it exactly, but they're going to try to put together a national dashboard.
Okay.
So
All right.
at least you give some data from some other places,
Yeah.
not just local.
I think the thing we know for sure with data centers is that we just don't know. I mean, there's so much, and we've talked about that before. And I feel like every time I look at something, I try to look at, what's the right word? Government or official, websites, and information like that. I read something on this page. Okay, I'm not really making sense of it, but it's starting to, okay. But then this over here says something either completely different or other things you have to think about. And there's just so much to it.
Well, this one is it's a true love-hate issue.
Yeah, absolutely.
You love them or you hate them. There's
Right. Yeah.
not an in-between.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing we know for sure is they're not going to go away anytime soon.
No.
So we need to figure out how and what and if and all of that we want to, what we want to do. So anyway, hoping for a lot more information I can share with all of you when we have our next work session early August, and have a lot of information to include for you folks to be looking at as we, again, continue to educate, continue to learn, and decide how we want to do it. So.
Well, that's why we need it, because the public information is wrong, both sides.
Yeah.
I mean-
Oh, I should quit looking at Facebook on this one.
No.
Okay, you stick pop.
Yeah, it's even worse if you want to know the truth.
No.
Yeah, it's all very biased.
There's all kinds of stuff that I'm not sure what's true, but I know some of it isn't.
Right, yeah, absolutely. Most resource you find, it's either the greatest thing ever or the most horrible thing ever. So I really try to find that middle of just give me facts, just
Yeah.
give me things to think about, pros, cons, everything all around, so we can get it, complete a story as possible while we're figuring out what to do, and that is hard to find.
Yeah.
So.
So,
Yeah, so more to come on that, of course, for probably a very long time. Home in the Heartland Make My Move program. So I populated these numbers on Tuesday morning, 2 days ago, Tuesday morning, and by Tuesday afternoon, we had 2 more movers.
Oh.
So that's really how dynamic this program is. So we have 14 total movers right now, most of which are here or very, very close to coming here. We have a few here in the next week or two, early July. So again, still lots of activity with that. Let's see, I did verify with the state that the second round that of course we've talked about and we haven't decided on yet, the second round for grant funding opened yesterday and it's open through August. So we do have some time to talk a little bit more. I know you folks want to see some more economic development numbers and understand that a little bit more before we decide how to proceed. I just want to let you know I found out what the deadline is, so we have a little bit of time to review and think how we want to proceed with that.
And I didn't have a chance to get you included on yesterday's call, but met with Darren and Ben and Peter
Okay.
yesterday afternoon. I think the goal too is to try to get the business community and some other partners involved in the incentive part of this instead of it just being all on the county.
Right, yeah,
So,
yeah.
we probably had 30 to 45 days with that grant opening yesterday. And so there's an opportunity to maybe get on board some other partners to help offset the cost. So it's
Yeah.
not just on
Just
us.
us, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that would be great. We have our non-cash incentives right now. Of course, I have it listed in your report, some from K-State and some from the chamber.
Yeah.
But yeah, the more folks we have, not only if we do want to go forward, not only will we be a more attractive program because we have that much more we're offering to folks, but as you said, that could help us.
Well, one of the
offset
things I'll mention too is why aren't we using it internally? Meaning, for instance, we're gonna be hiring an administrator, we're gonna be hiring some pretty high quality positions. They can go through on their dashboard and zero in on that and find some people.
With that kind of salary, we aren't gonna need the incentive.
But we need to find the people. They need to connect with us or we need to connect with them. And this is a tool that we have that, I don't know, Michelle, have we used it for that purpose? Sorry to put you on the spot, but you're here.
So Michelle Reed, Human Resource Manager, we have not used it. I believe this is one thing that Elizabeth will in the marketing promotion for the administrator. But we did do a job interview with a candidate that we've made an offer to for the appraiser 1, and they are actually looking at locating from Independence, Kansas into the
That doesn't
Manhattan
count for
area.
this. It's gotta be outside the state boundary, but
But yeah, so that it will be something to include in future.
I guess as we were in that call yesterday, it occurred to me that we're basically paying for the service for everybody else, but are we using it ourselves for?
Yeah, it will be something that we will use as a recruitment tool. Yep.
Thank you.
Yep, thanks, Michelle.
All right, anything more on that for now?
Sorry.
Okay, no, that's okay. Let's see. REDAB, our Rural Economic Development Advisory Board, you heard a really nice update from Kirk a couple of weeks ago, Kirk Crabtree. He talked a little bit about our Ruralpreneur recognition program that we're going to get started on this month. We're working to nominate and coordinate a business for a press conference with you folks later this month. So yeah, that group has been really excited about getting this going.
I was just gonna add, I was very impressed with that report. Working on some really good things. Got a good focus and vision moving forward, and maybe it's taken us a while to get here, and that's fine, but I currently like what I'm seeing from the direction we're going, so I just wanted to add that.
Thank you. I appreciate that input. And I will pass that along to Kirk and the group, because yeah, that's been very important to them as well, to connect with you folks and understand what you're looking for and, you know, make sure they're, you know, doing what you're wanting and, you know, what you're needing. So thank you for that information.
Well,
Um,
can they come in like maybe quarterly, or I think
Yeah.
we discussed that at that last meeting, them coming in more often and making
Yes,
presentations.
yeah, they're gonna be quarterly, so we actually had the one
Yeah.
Kirk did a couple weeks ago was our second one, so late fall or September would be our next quarterly update.
Okay, yeah, I
So
want
we're gonna do both quarterly ruralpreneur recognition with you folks and
Okay.
then a quarterly REDAP update. It might not be Kirk every time, it might be a different
Sure.
one of our members, but yes, that's been very important to them to establish that closer connection and interaction with you folks. So, yep, absolutely. Thank you for that. And that's a good segue, just real quick. Economic development, we don't have a ton of information about that on our webpage, our website, the Riley County website. And I'd kind of like to change that if you folks are amenable.
Yeah.
You know, especially based on all the work that REDAP has been doing, as you pointed out, and you know, what they've got going on. We obviously have information about each of our committees and advisory boards, you know, on our website already, but I'd like to create a separate page that, you know, certainly connects back to the REDAB board and, you know, other information. Like we have some economic development fund information on the clerk's website, things like that. But I'd really like to start kind of a central location for some of that. I don't yet know what that'll be. I'm looking at Vanessa.
Yeah.
I'm talking about that. But this is just something I've been, something I've just been thinking about for a little bit. I wanted to run it by you folks to make sure you would be comfortable with that.
Sounds good.
Yeah, just everything that REDAB's got going on, just making sure people, because we do get calls on occasion about, you know, our economic development funds, our program, you know, what is it for? So, and again, that information is on the clerk's website. I want to make sure, you know, you do know that it's out there, of course. But really like to have that.
Have its own page then.
Yeah, an economic development kind of identity, if you will. So if you're comfortable with that, we'll work together to kind of come up with some content and, you know, keep you folks in the loop on that. If there's anything else, you know, we can also, you know, talk about the different programs. Again, if we do extend, you know, Home in the Heartland in some way, you know, that's all economic development, things like that. So yeah, just something I've been thinking about. And if you folks are in support, we'll kind of get that going and keep you updated on that. So yeah, thank you. And then let's see, just make sure I'm not running out of time. Let's see, we'll go to our local environmental protection program grant. We did get an extension on our 2026 fiscal year through June of 27 because we haven't been able to expend all of our funds. So we get that. So we have another year to expend the remaining dollars that we have. We've already helped, are in the midst of helping two property owners with repair and replacement of their wastewater system. So right now we have about 33,000 left in that grant funding that we need to expend by next June, end of next June. We've just sent out another round of letters to folks with known system failures. And then of course, just reminding the contractors, because they're always great to help us spread the word, you know, because they're kind of the forefront, you know, they're the ones who get the calls, hey, my system failed. And then they're able to say, hey, Riley County has this funding, here's what you need to do. So, and they've been really great helping us out with that. So that's just one of the things we really just want to make sure people are aware of, because it can be pretty costly to replace or repair your system. And we do have these funds available. So, and I think I'll wrap it up with that. Did you have any questions or comments or anything else we didn't talk about? Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Next commercial, Megan Lewis, 10:15.
What I said was I was impressed with you.
I knew what you said. I'm not deaf neither.
Do you have TikTok?
Mental note made, Adam.
Were you saying, does Rich have
I
TikTok?
was wondering, I mean, I didn't have TikTok, but I was curious if you have
I'm
it.
waiting for ice to come up from below.
Uh,
Sounds like a commercial.
Yeah.
You didn't answer the question though.
Yeah.
Do you have TikTok?
No,
Me
I
neither.
know what it is.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't really want email or a cell phone, but don't have a choice in today's world. Ready for Megan?
Yes. Okay, good morning, Commissioners. Megan Lewis, Director of Community Corrections. I am here today to request approval for out-of-state travel for Joanna Lee, Dan Clark, and myself to attend the Emerging Drug Conference in Dallas, Texas. Miss Lee, she applied for a grant application through the Riley County Special Alcohol Funds, and was very passionate about the opportunity to attend. And so we would like permission to attend that conference.
Lewis and Clark are going on a trip.
Lewis and Clark.
I saw that too. I got a good chuckle out of that.
About that. That was good.
Yeah, the first thing when I saw it, I went.
Unfortunately, they didn't travel down to the Texas area.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
I saw that
New
too.
history.
Oh, okay.
I guess that would make you a guide for the excursion.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I don't know if we'll be the best guy, but we'll find our way. Oh.
Okay, let's see. I will make a motion to allow Director Megan Lewis, Intensive Supervision Officer Joanna Lee, and Intensive Supervision Officer Dan Clark to attend the Tall Cop Emergency Drug Trends Conference in Dallas. Boy, that's a mouthful. In Texas on November 12th through the 13th.
I'll second.
That's been moved and seconded to approve the out-of-state travel request for Megan Lewis, Joanna Lee, and Dan Clark to attend the Tall Cop Emerging Drug Trends Conference. All in favor?
My abbreviation for you.
Tall cop.
It's EC, couple of D's,
Maybe
another C and an E stuff.
They'll give us a platform. We can ask for some guidance.
Oh.
Thank you.
Oh.
But you were,
Okay, great. I will do that.
how about we do it? in a minute?
That's fine. I put our names together.
Yes.
Neither one of us is gonna do that to the other. Yeah, I stood beside you when I did it.
Oh, way behind her?
Yeah, he's out of the way. He's not getting ran over, just me.
But I was close by.
You just gotta give her a nudge in front of.
Oh,
We'll have to outrun the bears, and you have to outrun the person who would.
Yeah, that's right.
Or somebody said you run downhill. Bears can't run downhill or don't want to or something.
I'll let you just say that.
I wasn't going to, but,
Find it out on there.
and I don't necessarily believe the individual that told me that either, so.
Bear can do what bear wants to do.
Did he have to go hiking with you at the same time?
He's not an outdoors person, go figure. He'd prefer to stay inside and play PlayStation, I guess. Maybe he plays outdoor games on PlayStation. I don't know.
Got a lot of papers. Where are we going to start?
Lost your tie. Corey, where's your tie?
Huh?
Where's your tie?
I had to take off. Eating conversation.
You're both reading them.
Or you expected a heated conversation?
Huh?
Or you expected a heated conversation?
One, yes, two, no.
For the record, it was not with me.
Oh.
I don't know if I believe that.
Yeah.
Are you ready, commissioners?
Yes. Yes.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brittany Phillips, Budget and Finance Officer, here for another budget work session. One thing I found probably about, I don't know, maybe an hour ago, I don't know when I texted David. This number on here, this 2.5, is not the accurate number. It's actually, it's lower, so yay, you're welcome. It's 2.4 million. Not significantly lower, but we went from 20%. Yeah, I did my best. Okay. I was pulling from the wrong, I have two tabs and I had different revenues versus expenses lined up. So I had the wrong number in there. So and I had one additional question because on Monday when we talked about the appropriations, the one and I know I read them all back to you, but I just still want to verify you wanted downtown Manhattan to have that 15% decrease as well. That's what we voted on, but I just wanted to make sure that was accurate because you guys had talked about leaving the smaller appropriations at the same rate.
I think it was appropriations under 10,000 was what
Which it
we.
is.
But when you listed the names, we didn't put
Yeah.
downtown on it, so.
Yeah, I mean, I read them all back and
Yeah.
not until I was making the list for the minutes did I catch downtown Manhattan was not one of the ones that that it was in the approval to reduce. So I just want to make sure, is that what the board intended, or would you like that one to stay at $5,000?
I wanted the equal 15% cut, which that technically covers, so. That would be fair, my estimate to just keep it there.
Yeah.
And that was my intent too.
You agree,
There it
Catherine?
is, there it is. Let's see, circled, okay. Circled, we did, okay, we did emergency shelter, genealogical society, Be Able, Veterans Coalition, downtown Manhattan. I did have that.
We didn't.
Oh, I had it circled here.
No.
We did MPO as the same amount. We left that one.
Yeah, left it.
We have to do that.
Yes.
Yeah, have to get our share.
Yeah. Downtown Manhattan was not on my list.
And
of
I'd
the ones
be
that we had decreased.
absolutely shocked if we actually meet that threshold. I think it'll be lower than that.
Mhm.
Not considerably, but.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always a rough estimate.
Yeah.
And he tells us that, yeah, every year.
Okay. So you didn't have downtown Manhattan. I did.
You agree with the 15%, Catherine? Cut for downtown Manhattan?
No, I had it circled that it would stay the same.
Someone want to make a motion?
Do you want 15% cut? On that one or what?
Yeah, because we.
I wanted the 15% straight across the board because it's just fair to everybody. But I do understand that on the smaller side, that's a larger percentage getting taken away from you. But I don't, my opinion, I don't think we're done making cuts here just yet. So
No, we're not.
that's why I wanted to start from that spot.
Yeah.
We need to clarify that
If Catherine doesn't want to agree to
Okay.
consensus.
what move that we do take the 15% off on the downtown Manhattan appropriation.
In second,
This one moved and seconded to take the 15% off of downtown Manhattan. All in favor?
I
Aye.
You agree or oppose, Catherine?
I said, I agree, that's fine.
You agree? Okay, okay.
I circled it.
Okay, thank you, commissioners, for clarifying that for me. So I will go to the revenues page. This is where we're at. 5.269 of the mill levy difference from the previous budget year. Of course, we don't have all the information, prepped for you yet from what we had discussed yesterday. So this is just kind of where we're at this point based on other conversations that we've had. So I'll remind the board, we've cut the $2 million for the transfer to CIP. We've cut the as needed position out of the clerk's office. And then we've increased the revenue for motor vehicle for that $10. And then we have also cut appropriations as discussed. So those are the changes that we have made. Yesterday, I know we talked about the health department, and I've been looking at other health departments, trying to see that, are similar size or larger, trying to see where they're at. I'm waiting for Douglas County to give me more information, but I did reach out to Leavenworth County this morning. Their health department has 14 employees. Ours has 42. And their entire budget is $1.5 million, and ours is over $6 million.
And they are serving a larger population.
And they are serving a larger population, and their services are comparable to ours. They still have MCH. I looked it up. They still have WIC. I don't know the scale of theirs. I saw on the website because their county administrator had sent me the link. It's by appointment only. So a lot of it, like they have a clinic for immunizations, but it doesn't appear to be a walk-in clinic. It looked like it was a, by appointment only. And by all means, David, correct me if I'm speaking incorrectly on that. But so just to give you some comparison.
Yeah, will we get like a breakdown from them, which employees where and what they serve? Is that?
I could
mean-
definitely ask them for a work chart. Yeah,
I actually think that's gonna be, outside of K-State, but K-State has Lafine too. Keep that in
Yeah,
mind. It's gonna be pretty comparable because we're talking military type
Because
services
they've got a lot
there.
of military.
Correct. So do we.
Wouldn't
So
use
Yeah.
the-
I think that's a good comparison. I'm off on the numbers here. I have a larger. Is that taken into effect, that health? Okay, I
Yeah.
didn't get it.
this
so
is why. No, I'm sorry. I literally just found it this
Oh, okay.
morning. And so I didn't want to send it back out. And so I'm assuming you have 5.357.
Correct.
Yeah, that's what I sent out yesterday. And then I found it this morning and I asked David, hey, did you play with numbers, in the budget? And he said no. And then I found where I made the mistake from pulling the number. So
Just so we're moving forward on the health department discussion, it's not my intention to cut every single program. It's to just simplify that and streamline each one of them. And obviously, by comparison there, maybe there's some room to move on that.
I will,
I want to be able to provide all those services in some capacity, but we need to prioritize within each one of those groups what that would look like at a reduced rate, I guess is what I'll say.
reducing.
My thoughts on it too, though. Kind of late in the year to be doing it, but that might be something we work on for next year's,
Mhm.
because there was some, as you pointed out, a temporary fix on CIP money and stuff to cover, but we need to work, but I don't think it's a quick fix. I think that's
Right.
a long-term look. But I don't know how much we
Mhm.
can do on this year's budget for
I
that.
I agree, Commissioner, and I don't know if David wants to speak to that, but I don't think we can turn around and tell people they don't have a job tomorrow. I don't think that's anybody's intent. I have never heard any of you say that.
Like I say, it's more of a long-term, a year. A long process, but that's something we obviously need to look
Yes,
into, because that is.
There is a perception that that's what we want to do. We just want to chop it down and.
Right.
Yes,
We don't
there
have
is.
to figure out
That's.
what we can do.
David Adams, interim health department director. Correct. There is that I've been working a lot in
Yeah.
the last 14 hours or whatever it was, having those conversations. So I've told him I will get more information as soon as I can. As far as what programs to make adjustments to, yeah, I agree. 27, you've got to bring in a health department director who knows health departments. Obviously, I'm learning a lot, but I'm not the subject matter expert for that. And I would not be comfortable at this point
Yeah.
telling you this is what we need to do. That's just outside of my scope. So thank you for looking at that more of a long-term.
That's what I
something
think,
to be
when we
this
get a
year.
new person in there to
Yep.
say, start from the top down, see what we can do.
Yep, correct.
Maybe even, I mean, we talked about having that administrator under, you know, a help. I don't have.
Like an assistant director?
An assistant director,
Right,
maybe
correct.
we should wait till we get the director and then work on the assistant director. Would that
Yeah,
work?
I
Is that
suppose.
rather than have a new
I'm
position?
confused then. I thought the assistant director would take care of the health department functions and then we would move the administrative side over to a different umbrella. Am I wrong on that?
No, you're kind of right. So the assistant director would handle the programs, the grant funding and that side of it. The director would handle more of the administrative side,
Right.
the HR,
Okay.
and then the budgets and the strategic direction of the department. So, and then that's a very good balance, if you will, between the workloads there. So, you know, as when I met with Commissioner Foki, you know, the county's had the health department for about 10 years and solely, and we've had 4 directors only with no assistant. We've had 4, 3 of them have not been successful. And then in that same time period, we've had 5 clinic supervisors that have not been successful. So that's why it's just too much. So, but it's just overwhelming, and it can't. And if you put me in that position full time, I'll tell you I wouldn't be successful either. It's just way too much, and it's way too hard on their supervisors who are still seeing clients, but also trying to manage their grants and the reporting that goes along with them and the tracking of everything. So that was the idea behind the assistant director, to take that pressure off of them. And somebody who knows those, you know, these are dietitians and social workers trying to do budgets and trying to do grant tracking and all of that. It's not in their wheelhouse. So that's what we were thinking, correct?
That's what I got thinking. Are we gonna advertise for that director? We need to get the reorganization set up before.
Correct.
Pretty soon, so we can.
Well,
start
and so I believe you've got one document, and we'll have that on Monday as well.
Oh, okay.
So to kind of lay out what
Until we
we're
know
thinking.
Until we know what we have, we can't hire somebody until we know what. we
Correct,
want.
correct. But we
But
can't
that's
make some
something-
changes till we get a director.
On
So
top-
it's
On top of all the budget problems, that's another problem.
right.
But are we gonna get a director who's gonna be in line with all those potential changes?
Well, we will.
Yeah,
Well,
I
we
mean,
will have
that's
to.
part of the hiring.
That's why
That's
we
gonna
need
be part of the
job
discussion,
description.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
good
that
job
should be
description.
direction from the board. You have to set that expectation, not to put on an HR hat, because I'm not HR by any means. But that is your guys' role as that person's direct supervisor. You have to lay out that expectation and say, we are looking at cutting services and I
Or
need you.
streamlining.
Or streamlining, however you want to phrase that.
That's a big.
That's a big word. But you have to lay out that expectation very early on and hold that person accountable.
Mhm.
Yeah, 'cause I just looked it up. Douglas County is much bigger than us. That's approximately 40 employees. in health department.
They're about
Twice our size.
Yeah, okay, that's.
And theirs is a joint city county, and so that's why I'm struggling to try and
It's,
figure out.
one whole
One
department,
whole health department, but yeah, I'm
Just like we were. You
Yeah.
were know the
These cities that-
employees.
These cities said, no, thanks here.
Yeah.
And they can.
And their facility is combined too.
Yeah.
Jamie should hang me.
so,
Douglas County is a city county
City county like we used to be,
like we used to
Yeah.
be, but yeah.
it's
now-
Lawrence Douglas.
but they're double our population, have about the same or less employees.
If I'm not mistaken, their facility there also has their mental health service provider contained within it too.
I think so. That's all I could really see in the Douglas County budget was like the mental health side of it. I couldn't figure out how much they were like appropriating to the health department.
But
But
shared
they don't
facility,
have
shared facilities actually helps all the entities involved in that, so.
They don't have a Pawnee. We have Pawnee.
They do.
Well,
It's not
the same.
Pawnee,
That's
it's
what I'm
something, I don't
saying.
know what it
They're
is,
similar, but they're within the.
but they're
same
within the
building.
same building.
So
So everybody is sharing those responsibilities and
Mhm.
providing those programs under the same roof.
Yes.
Edward Baker, something.
So I will, I'll reach back out to Leavenworth and get them, ask for a work chart just so we can see comparably how that looks. And then, of course, I've already sent a message to Douglas County trying to ask the same information, so I'll have all that prepared for you. Just want to clarify, on Monday, we're not talking about the reorganization of the health department. We're only presenting the health department budget.
Oh,
It'll
okay.
have all those salaries in there with the reorganization in mind, but I am not presenting the entire reorganization. That needs to come from Elizabeth, so.
Yeah.
Okay. So at this point, I stand for any questions, direction.
Once, actually, and kind of like suggestion from a department head, because we do have, right now, we've got COLA in it and a new expanded position. If every department cut 2%, it would pay for those two items. It's be about a mil. That, that's what I'm saying, department has to go back and see if they can all get 2% or close to it. That would cover our COLA and expanded position.
There's been a lot of talk about that amongst department heads, and you other department heads are allowed to speak, but many have cut and cut
I know,
every
I'm
year
not
because the
saying-
board has asked. But what I'm saying is there are some that, example one, has a 19% increase on there. So maybe those that have a higher percentage cut a little more. Because those of us that have cut, many of our 3Cs are very minimal. We don't have a lot of room to cut. And clerks, there's 3Cs isn't a lot. Amy doesn't have a lot in her 3Cs. Museum doesn't have a lot in their 3Cs. Their budgets are kind of bare bones, so that's something to think about.
We don't require to have a museum. That wasn't on the list.
You have the authority to cut it.
I know, and I'm not saying, I'm just saying that wasn't on the list and stuff.
You're right, it was not on the list, and I think we did.
And I'm
talk
not
about
saying, we should.
Yeah.
I'm not saying should have any of those cutting, but I'm
Mhm.
just saying that should have been on the list.
It wasn't on the list. We talked about it, and I don't remember exactly. Anybody from budget and planning correct me if you remember, but there was a reason why we didn't put it on the list. Anybody remember? No? Cool.
We all like Catherine.
Catherine isn't here to throw anything.
Well, you also, in that instance too, you've got the Historical Society separate than that,
Yeah.
providing resources and assistance for the museum too, whereas.
No, all of the stuff inside it is.
Right.
Historical society are.
And we pay for all the personnel except for
Right, I
the
know.
as needed. Yeah.
And I'm not saying to cut, I'm just saying, I remember that on that list that was
Yes.
another thing. And I'm not suggesting cut it. So
Yeah. No,
I don't have to look over my back and see if Catherine is coming after me.
I do want you to know, we did talk about the museum, and I can't
Okay.
recall off the top of my head why we actually did not end up putting it on the list, and it doesn't look like anybody else remembers either. So, but it was discussed. So,
But it also seemed every year when we've gotten this, we've said, oh, can get, everybody go back and look at, see if there's something.
Mhm.
We didn't do that this year, but
no, we haven't
if,
yet.
like I say, we could cut it off of everybody, it'd pay for that. Cause it'd be about 1 mil.
I cut 15 already.
I know.
So we're there.
Sorry, David Adams, Emergency Services Department. So are you saying on top, like our department, we cut 10%? Are you saying on top of that 10%?
Yeah, well, like I say, that, and not necessarily every one of them, but it's an average over the whole thing. If we
Okay.
cut, came out about like 1.5% or 2%, it would cover those two items that are ads that nobody's discussed cutting COLA, but I'm sure that would come up at some point, and that would cover.
So in
Would
essence,
cover
you're
those.
just asking department to see if they can find another 1.5%
Yeah,
somehow.
somehow to cover
Mhm.
those.
Not
that
necessarily
COLA
from each
and
department.
COLA and new positions. Which would, like I say, that drops about 1 mil,
Mhm.
Or what is it for just COLA?
just under 1 mil. I mean, we
0.8,
could.
wasn't it?
The percent is 2.8%,
0.8.
and this is our updated number for the cost of COLA.
Like, but between two of them, it'd be 860.
And I was gonna ask, cause I haven't been following this close, what did RCPD fall on? The COLA, it was 1.5, okay. I was thinking that, but I didn't confirm it.
$9 million budget. Yeah.
Personnel's everybody's biggest cost.
And regarding new positions, it's also a cost that keeps on giving and increases each year too, is i.e. to new positions. Many times new positions have been
We didn't
completely
approve
frozen.
I just have a philosophy on that it doesn't make sense to continue to add, and I'm not debating the merits of whether those individual positions are worth, but if you can't take care of what you have, we need to focus on that first, because those people are already here and part of the equation. So, and
Yeah, we need to take care of people.
I think that's gonna prove to be difficult this year too, in its own right, so.
One other area I want to point out, that's of course highlighted because you guys haven't finalized your discussions, and I know Elizabeth is getting you some data, is the clerk pay for 2027. You guys haven't come to a final decision on that. I know she's gonna get you information, so that number will change, because right now that's at Rich's current pay.
Oh, okay.
So that's just something to keep in mind as well, and that, however you change that, if you do drop it down to an FF, that will be how, that will be impacted.
Correct me if I'm wrong, everybody, just so I'm tracking here, but we're making some of the changes there to offset what our cost is gonna be to add the administrator position without
Yeah,
pushing the needle out further. We've recognized, I think collectively, that that's an important piece, county operation moving forward, and I agree with that, but we've got to fit it in with the constraints of our already constrained budget, so.
Kind of,
I don't get what you're saying, constraint on constraint.
kind of what I was asking. I would just say, don't ever value another position or reduce it based on wanting to pay for another position,
No,
would be my point. Don't try and cut someone else's salary to justify the increase somewhere else.
Okay, so.
Pay them for
we
what
just-
they're worth. That'd be totally inappropriate.
There's discussions.
If the
on-
administrator's needed, you just gotta admit you need the cost, and it's a cost you're willing to pay, and pay for it, and then regardless of what someone else is paid for. You don't reduce another professional salary to pay for another just because.
and because all the department heads, as I understand, are in favor of the county administrator, which is a cost that we all have to think about.
Yeah, I don't think I have not heard from anybody that they want you to put off the county administrator at all. And I know there's been comments made in here about pushing that off, and that has really concerned department
Yeah.
heads.
Yeah, I don't want to push it off unless we have to.
Yeah.
But, that was a suggestion to kind of get our,
Well, we
6
need to
I
months
think
or
we're far
whatever.
enough along
but it's
that
gonna-
path, we can't.
We just
stop
gotta
there.
figure out how much we wanna make that an increase of budget and where we're getting it from.
It's in
That's-
there now,
Yes, it is.
except for the
Yes.
administrator or assistant position. It's under there as a.
New and
added-
expanded.
a new
Yeah.
expanded.
Mhm. Yes, absolutely. Everything else in the administration line is what you guys have already agreed upon. So that new pay scale or pay rate, I'm sorry, for the administrator that you guys had adjusted down. We already, originally you guys took out the HR position and the administrative assistant position. So that doesn't include that. It's the administrator, the PIO, the budget and finance officer, and your 2 HR employees.
Right.
So,
And then we've got the bottom one is that.
Yes.
combined.
$20, Gary.
I know you carry cash.
So is the recommendation from the board to have departments go cut 2%?
Yes, like I say,
Oh,
maybe
If possible.
an average over, but that's, like I say, it was one of the department heads that suggested to me that way we could cover those. And it's not even a full 2%, that's 1.5 or something. I didn't
Mhm.
run that tight of numbers.
Okay. I have one question about a specific department, IT, because you've heard him say the costs keep increasing, and I know I'm just,
He is,
I'm just asking, is that,
but he can, like everybody else, he can go back and look. And I'm not saying everybody overinflated their budget to begin with, but.
yeah, I mean, we're
but
negative.
Also, we can't increase taxes 20% either.
Mhm.
So is that direction of consensus of the board? We've heard that. from
For
one
now,
commissioner.
yeah, I think it's probably gonna end up having to be a little deeper than that, but. We
So
need to
what
move it.
percent are you asking as an overall additional cut?
I'll start with the
2%?
2, yeah.
And you were saying, what, 1.5, right?
Well, I was just saying, we aim for 2,
Yeah,
Let's
8 for
see.
2, but,
see what we can
Is
get.
that a consensus from the board?
yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
I'll
See
start
what they
there.
could do and come back with it.
Okay, so 2% off of all these that are up here.
Don't put it in there till we hear back from them.
Yeah,
I mean, just leave that as it is right now.
but for everybody to go back and look at them.
And once they can look at their budgets, then put it in, so. I mean,
So-
you're going back and forth, without decision, making. There's no reason to change the whole chart, until we get it back from the
Yeah,
department.
well, she's not,
And the additional 2% was to budget, cut in the budget to fund COLA, is that correct?
COLA and the expanded position that the, extent to the administrator. I know, and it's, but that's on
Yeah,
there.
but that 72,000.
We said that one was up or down.
So the 78,000 here is just that HR position.
Right.
That's all that is. The expanded position that you did in the elections office is not included because we can absorb that in the elections budget.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so to confirm, you want department heads to go look where they can cut 2% out of their 3 Cs, but you do not want me to change this spreadsheet.
Well, not.
For Monday's
not till you
presentation.
get the numbers, till you get numbers, but when you get numbers back from somebody, from the departments.
Yeah.
I wouldn't just chop it right now and
Oh, you want to chop it?
let everybody look at it and see what they can do.
Okay.
Catherine's okay for you, thumbs up?
Cory Meyer, ITGIS director. I was just gonna ask a win. Like, you want us to have numbers back how soon?
Obviously not by Monday, I'm not saying,
The holiday weekend,
Right,
it's not
right.
happening on
But,
Monday.
yeah.
next tomorrow.
But I
We're gonna
think
have
for-
budget sessions pretty much for the safe.
Yeah, But I was
foreseeable
thinking,
future.
give us a hard date. So next
I'm not
Thursday,
disagreeing.
Do that
Right.
Thursday or the following Monday, it gives them a full week to work on it. I'd like
Well,
to give us
at least
some time.
Thursday, yeah.
yeah, that's,
Thursday or Monday, not a week from Monday, that's what I'm saying.
well, I was thinking if you give us, you want it all done by this date, then we're all on the same page and then we're not having a conversation with saying, well, she did get answers from these departments, but not from
Right.
these yet. And it drag on. So that's all I'm
They're
asking.
in the process is next Thursday reasonable.
A week from Monday is what?
Okay, next Thursday.
13.
13.
So-
Okay, that's the last meeting I'm gonna
That's
have
the
here.
Monday would be
Thursday's plenty of time,
Okay.
Yeah.
I would think.
Thursday, then
The
Thursday
ninth.
is the 9th.
So you need me here. I'm not gonna be here.
We're talking the ninth, not the
Yeah,
13th.
that's good. Okay, the night's fine.
Thursday.
So you,
9th.
And if we have to have a special session again, we could do that. before,
Maybe.
On the 10th or something.
I am out of the office on the 10th,
Elizabeth, when is she back?
on the 13th.
Yeah, make it the 9th.
Yeah.
Okay, so have it in my presentation on the 9th.
Yeah, so I need it back to you the day before.
So you guys need to get it to me by Tuesday.
Great.
Before 3 PM. So noon. I'll send an email out to department heads.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah, no, you got a good, it was a good point. We didn't say, they do this sometime. That doesn't help anybody.
So with that being said, nothing else has changed from today for my Monday presentation.
Right.
So you want me to keep this worksheet as is and we just continue working on it Monday?
Yeah.
Or do you not want to talk Monday about it and wait till Thursday?
You did it Monday.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, is that, consensus?
Use one.
Board
revision.
agree not to have budget discussion Monday and we'll just do it Thursday once we have the numbers more clear.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
You said there was adjustment.
See, Gary,
You
you
said
get
you
it now.
adjusted it.
Yes, I'll send an updated, well, it'll be in the pack, in the,
There's-
oh,
I mean,
actually,
it's a-
I'll send you this one, because we
Yeah,
are not
it's
gonna meet on
supposed
Monday,
to
so.
be back.
Yeah, send it the revised one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm-
like tomorrow or something.
Yeah,
Yes,
Okay,
if you can.
we're off tomorrow.
Oh,
yeah, I'm sorry, Commissioner Foki, what did,
That's right, Monday then.
okay. Is there any other recommendations, thoughts, questions, concerns?
Well, we're getting there. And I appreciate everybody's hard work.
When would you guys like me, to bring back the intent to exceed revenue neutral?
And do we need
I
it?
thought we decided that was gonna be on the 13th.
Yeah.
Did you decide that? I just want to confirm, because I don't, Okay, there's a lot of back and forth yet. I just wanted to make sure I'm clear.
I know we discussed it yesterday and I wasn't maybe clear on Monday because I was online, but
Okay.
So we can reduce that after.
Yes, you can reduce, you just can't increase.
13, see what we got there.
Okay, so I'll have a resolution drafted, or it's, I don't think
That
it's a
way we can
resolution, but
Well, after Thursdays.
yes,
discussion,
after the night.
We can adjust it for 13.
Leave those plans. I did the rest, I see the plans.
And Commissioner Foki, you're leaving on the 14th, so
Mhm.
you're okay that we continue to have budget sessions on the 16th and the 20th?
Yeah, because I'll be back on the 23rd.
Okay, but,
In session on the
okay,
23rd.
but we're still gonna continue on without the chair.
Yeah, continue on.
Ma'am, the costume party's next door.
You have to come up front.
You have to come up
The
front.
public gets to see that.
Oh, he's not bashful. You gotta come up front.
Great.
Did you make that yourself?
Oh, no.
We get something like that.
She's so creative.
Trying to get votes. Yeah.
Vote for Lori. What are you running for?
The winner for the contest.
Oh, that's right. There is a costume contest. Yeah, Lori always wins. That's a fact.
I like the eagle with the sunglasses. That's good.
Good to see John has good control of his office.
Okay, if the commissioners don't have anything else for me, I will. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Oh,
Oh, David, okay.
David Adams, Emergency Services Director. Since Russell's not here, I just want to let you know that we received the certificate of occupancy for the EM remodel
Yeah.
building today. So the fire chiefs are going to start moving some things in bays, I think today, this afternoon, but then they'll hit it hard on Monday, start moving offices over. So it's not completed on the exterior. We have some painting that still needs to be done and a retaining wall that needs to be put in. Those were kind of late additions that our group made. But and then I'll piggyback onto what the Rich Vargo said about our IT. They're just fantastic. Just they've been over there when we've needed them. They've had to drop what they were doing with some other things to get over there, and so they're great. So want to make sure you know that.
Thank you.
I am sorry. Just want to clarify, we won't talk about the whole budget on Monday, but we are going to talk about health department.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
okay.
just, I have that as my like budget work session.
Oh, okay.
So
If there's other numbers, send them
yes,
out.
I'm gonna send all of that.
So you got, okay.
Yes, it's already done. I submitted it, so.
Okay, anything else?
good. Everybody have a safe holiday.
Yep, everyone enjoy.
Come back with all your fingers and
That's
dishes.
what I was gonna say. Come back with all your fingers.
All right, I guess with that said, I'll make a motion to adjourn the July 2nd meeting of the Riley County Commission.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to adjourn the July 2nd meeting of the Riley County Commissioners. All in favor?